Hey, Segovia, back with another reaction for you guys during the TikTok ban. I believe the desktop version still works. Now, these clips that I got are from yesterday before the ban happened, but when I was on TikTok on my desktop, it looks like it still works. So it looks like we're still gonna be able to get content to you guys. If they end up banning that, we're gonna move to Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all those, y'all. Don't worry, Segovia ain't going nowhere. But enough with the chit chat. Let's get into the video. Sit back, relax. I got COVID lungs. And enjoy the show.
Yes, Joe Biden last year said that Xi Jinping was a dictator. Do you agree with Joe Biden? Is Xi Jinping a dictator?
Senator, I'm not going to comment on any world leaders.
Why won't you answer these very simple questions?
Senator, it's not appropriate for me as a businessman to comment on world leaders.
Are you scared that you'll lose your job if you say anything negative about the Chinese Communist Party?
I disagree that. You will find content that is critical of China on our platform.
The next time you go on, are you scared that you'll be arrested and disappear the next time you go to mainland China?
Listen to some of these questions that this guy's answering. Like, what's that got to do with the app? You know, like, would you want, if China was asking him those questions, would you want him saying that about Joe Biden? You know what I mean?
Senator, you will find content that's critical
these
of
court
China
people,
and
man.
other country freely on TikTok.
Okay. Let's turn to what TikTok, a tool of the Chinese Communist Party, is doing to America's youth. Does the name Mason Edens ring a bell?
Senator, you may have to give me more specifics if you don't mind.
Yeah, he was a 16-year-old Arkansan. After a breakup in 2022, he went on your platform and searched for things like inspirational quotes and positive affirmations. Instead, he was served up numerous videos glamorizing by gun. What about the name Chase Nazca? Does that ring a bell?
Would you mind giving me more details, please?
He was a 16-year-old who saw more than 1,000 videos on your platform about violence and he took his own life by stepping in front of a plane or train. Are you aware that his parents, Dean and Michelle, are suing TikTok and ByteDance for pushing their son to take his own life?
Yes, I'm aware of that.
Okay. Finally, Mr. Chu, has the Federal Trade Commission sued TikTok during the Biden administration?
Senator, I cannot talk about whether there's any
Are you currently being sued by the Federal Trade Commission?
Senator, I cannot talk about any potential lawsuits.
I didn't say potential, actual. Are you being sued by the Federal Trade Commission?
Senator, I think I've given you my answer. I cannot talk about.
No. Ms. Yacarino's company is being sued, I believe. Mr. Zuckerberg's company is being sued, I believe. Yet TikTok, the agent of the Chinese Communist Party, is not being sued by the Biden administration. Are you familiar with the name Christina Kafara?
You may have to give me more details.
Christina Kafara was a paid advisor to ByteDance, your communist-influenced parent company. She was then hired by the Biden FTC to advise on how to sue Mr. Zuckerberg's company.
Senator, ByteDance is a global company and not a Chinese communist company. It's owned by global investors.
Public reports indicate that your lobbyist visited the White House more than 40 times in 2022. How many times did your company's lobbyist visit the White House last year?
I don't know that, Senator.
Are you aware that the Biden campaign and the Democratic National Committee is on your platform? They have TikTok accounts?
Senator, we encourage people to come on.
Which, by the way, they won't let their staffers use their personal phones. They give them separate phones that they only use TikTok on.
We encourage everyone to join, including yourself, Senator.
So all these companies are being sued by the FTC.
He probably has a TikTok.
The FTC has a former paid advisor, your parent, talking about how they can sue Mr. Zuckerberg's company. Joe Biden's re-election campaign, the Democratic National Committee, is on your platform. Let me ask you, have you or anyone else at TikTok communicated with or coordinated with the Biden administration, the Biden campaign, or the Democratic National Committee to influence the flow of information on your platform?
We work with any creators who want to use our campaign. It's all the same process that we have.
So what we have here, we have a company that's a tool of the Chinese Communist Party that is poisoning the minds of America's children, in some cases driving them to, and that at best the Biden administration is taking a pass on, at worst maybe in collaboration with. Thank you, Mr. Chu.
Do you see, like, how crazy does that sound? Trying to bash the app, but the Biden administration uses TikTok. Like, does that make sense? I know I got a lot of comments yesterday, like people saying good and people need to get off their phones. I hope you guys realize, like, this is the apps all of us reactors use. We use TikTok to put out the truth to you guys. Now, if that gets blocked, I can't come on here and do a long form video for you guys because you guys want to watch it. You know what I mean? So this is kind of important to us. And there's other apps to use, but they're very, very censored. So we're not going to get this good content out to you guys, but I believe the desktop version's still working for me. So I don't know if it's for everybody or what.
Any similarities between the LA fires and what happened in Maui?
Absolutely. Delay of initial attack. So it is absolutely critical that we get there early and aggressively when these fires start. And with Maui, that was a transmission line start also. That's a very common cause of these urban interface fires. And there was no aerial response, effectively nothing. And I keep going back to air, not just because that's what I used to do, but I mean, that's how you fight a wildfire early. Because by definition, wildfires are usually up in the hinterland, up in the hills. It will take time to get enough ground crew there to effectively fight the fire, usually. Now, maybe you can get a hand crew out there quick to, if it's a quick, hot spot and they contain it, great. But more than likely, they're going to get there. And what they're going to do is maybe start building a defensive fire line. Maybe they'll start getting people evacuated. They might, get a heel in place to start, get an anchor in place to start, flanking out to one end or the other just to get a fire break.
Yeah, I'd be pissed. There's a lot of chairs.
No homeless people in China, because in China, even though you are very poor, like you're a very poor person, and even though that your parents maybe have an old house inside the countryside, they have a old apartment inside the city somehow, and that house, that apartment, just paying zero tax to the government. We Chinese, we do not have property tax, housing tax. We also do not have a car tax. Like every year you need to renew a tag on your license in the United States, paying $250 or something. No such thing. Once we own the car, we own the house, just no tax. We only pay tax when we buy it for one time. Okay, such like my apartment, $70,000. When I buy it, I only pay one time 1% of the tax.
So if you're watching Trump, you see the Secret Service agents come in. The guy on the left gets in first. So I think the House Butler Task Force interviewed him. And they said, okay, take us through what was going on in your head in that moment. He's like, well, yeah, we heard some scuttlebutt that local police were looking at something at 3 o'clock to Trump's right. That was it. He said, and then I heard like a pop. He said, my immediate thought was it sounded like one of those poppet firecrackers just throw on the ground.
Exactly. It always does.
That's what I thought it was. So I thought it was a heckler in the crowd. And then I hear the second shot, and I'm waiting to hear in my ear heckler. He said, and then I heard the third. By the way, he's hearing nothing in his ears at this point. So that's the point at which I go and jump on the president. We hear him kind of going over us.
Wow, that's so. Of the 8 shots, like where did they go? Those 8 shots?
I think they were only able to find actual bullet fragments from 2. There were 10 shots fired total. There were 8 from crooks. There was 1 from a local law enforcement officer who shot almost simultaneously with Crooks's 8th shot. So you have 1, 2, 3, you had a burst of 3, then you had a burst of 5, and then the 5 like all went high. One of them hit a hydraulic line. As Crooks fired his 8th shot, a local officer fires his gun at Crooks. He swears he got him, but there's no firing from Crooks after that point, after that 8th shot. And then 15 seconds later comes the shot that kills Crooks.
No way.
15 seconds.
The Great Pacific Garbage Patch is a massive floating disaster. First discovered near California in 1997, this floating mess now spans 620,000 square miles, twice the size of Texas and bigger than France, Germany, and Spain combined. Weighing as much as 500 blue whales, it's a mix of plastic debris, fishing nets, and trash. 2 trillion pieces of plastic have gathered in this patch, most coming from China, Japan, Korea, and the US. The patch is 2 distinct massive collections of debris, the western one near Japan and the eastern one near California, connected by the convergence zone acting like a highway between the 2. the patch suffocates marine life, and its toxic microplastics end up in the air and even in our water and food. Humans consume about 5 grams of plastic every week. That's like eating a credit card. And yet, because the patch is so far from any country's coastline, no nation wants to clean it up.
Does anyone know why the entire United States is covered by an invisible layer of clouds? And this is this week. Today is January 17th. So I want to show you this video. I wish I could credit the person, but on Twitter they steal videos and post them, so I don't know who did it. If you do know, tag them below. But basically they were looking at cloud coverage on one of these radars, right? And what they found was for like the past 2 weeks, the entire US, even right now, is covered by an invisible layer of cloud coverage. That is super, super, super weird. You can see where all the main clouds are, but then you go look outside and you can't really see this invisible layer, and who knows what the invisible layer really is. Oh yeah, it's not just the United States, it's the entire world. So I opened up the Windy app to see if maybe it was here, and it wasn't. So this reminds me, do you remember when we had that glitch on Event 2 Sky? But in that same glitch, we saw physical manifestations at, say, South Africa. And quite literally at the same time, people have been taking pictures of 2 full moons, and the full moon's been there for 4 or 5 days. And of course, it's not just the moon. The sun has been photographed a whole bunch the last few days, showing all this extra stuff. But some people are able to photograph supposedly Nibiru in the sky while this is all going on. And we had the orbs just disappear. So maybe all of it's still there. And for some reason, we just can't see it. I don't know. By the way, this video is a joke. I'm being stupid.
Barack Obama posting this lighting, this photo, celebrating his wife's birthday is some of the nastiest work I've seen on social media in 2025. I just know there had to be a better photo. I just know. And these two could be the most normal couple ever. You know, your run-of-the-mill Facebook couple that posts on their birthday, happy birthday, wife. And using this photo would still be nasty, nasty work, even if it was only in the vicinity of your local Facebook community. Nasty work. But yes, happy birthday, Michelle. Here's the worst photo of you of all time.
Okay, so I changed my location to Canada. Apparently, if you guys change your location to a different country where TikTok is allowed, you should be able to still use the app.
You don't think there's...
Like I said, I believe it's just the app on your phone that's blocked. My desktop's still working. Is your guys' desktop? Has anyone tried? I know a lot of you guys watch TikTok reactions, but you don't have TikTok. Anyone that does your desktop just work, or is it just a select few? No
places in America that you'd be concerned.
No, I don't think about it. It's not.
You don't have to think about it. Your face
this
says
one,
it.
I have family. Yeah, exactly. So I would have seen it then. So I go out. I travel all the time for work. I'm all over this country. My face is, hey, there's a Jew. You think I would have heard one thing in real life? I'm telling you, I'm out there testing it. It's not there. It's just online. You just got to shut that laptop and walk outside. Everything's pretty fucking great. Oh, it's so hard to be a white guy right now. No, it's not. It's fucking great. Oh, it's so hard to be everywhere I go. Black people want to get killed by cops. No, that's not true. Almost nobody gets actually that happen. It's just like everyone's online getting riled up. The world is great.
Wow.
Yeah. I have a black friend who was convinced after George Floyd and after everything, after the media was talking about this, he goes, every white guy wants me dead. And then he was out fishing in Pennsylvania, and some old white guy was fishing in a boat, and he starts rowing over. He goes, oh, fuck, here we go. My friend Nate Marshall. And he goes, fuck, what's this going to be? And the guy comes over, he's like, can I talk to you boys for a second? And he goes, yeah, what? He goes, you're casting your line way wrong. You got to, like, at the top of your, I don't know what he said, at the top. It's like, let me show you. And he did. He goes, all right, good luck with this. You got a good spot right here. And then he just, like, faced himself. And he was like, oh, fuck, I've been lied to. My reality is not real.
I believe it was the second week of July, 1994, 21 pieces slammed into Jupiter. Any one of those pieces, had it struck Earth, would have caused a global catastrophe. But it would have been enough to basically put us back to the Stone Age.
Wow.
And there were 21 of those pieces, and up until that point, no one had ever expected that they would witness such a thing. 15 months earlier, in March of 93, David Levy and Carolyn Shoemaker, they were looking at Jupiter, and they saw a comet. Suddenly there it was, coming from behind Jupiter. The astronomers started tracking, and they could see these pieces spreading out. It took about 3 months of observations, and within that 3 months, they were able to recreate the entire elliptical orbit of the thing. They now had the velocity of these pieces, and they had the geometry of the orbit. They knew that it was going to be an impact, and they predicted this a year in advance.
I'm going to tell you a little story. Cattle, beef, food. A lot of people don't know anything about where it comes from. So, I owned a restaurant for 10 years. Miraculous. I know. I started it with $30 in the bank and a month's worth of food stamps. I don't recommend that business model just for all you entrepreneurs. When it comes to your beef, grass-fed, organic, 99% of it is bullshit. I have my restaurant, sourced everything locally in North Carolina. The biggest organic, grass-fed, supposed best company in Asheville is called Hickory Nut Gap. I went to a party that we catered for one of my cheese purveyors, local goat cheese. Great times. We cooked 300 ears of corn, and we were all on mushrooms. I never bought the Hickory Nut Gap meat because it was 10 times the cost of any other beef. I ran into the owner of this company. He was drunk. Their farm's way up in the mountains, and I've driven by it many times, and there was never any animals out there. A couple goats. I asked him, hey man, where do y'all keep the cows at? Well, we don't have any cows. How do you sell all this meat? He said, there's a loophole in the laws in North Carolina, probably most states, to get certified organic grass-fed cow. It has to eat grass for 6 weeks. So what they do is they buy cattle from New Mexico, from desert food lots, where they're standing 2 feet deep in their own shit. They're eating corn powder with fucking antibiotics and all kinds of shit in it. Super unnatural. They're packed in like sardines, dude. I've seen those kind of farms. It's nuts. They buy those cows at auction, super cheap, skinny ass cows, and then they transport them in whatever state. They stick them on grass in a barn with hay for 6 weeks, and technically it's a local, certified, organic, grass-fed cattle. That will blow your motherfucking mind. Process that. All your organics and all that's all bullshit. Took me 3 years to find a legit local farm for my beef at my restaurant. It's a family-owned operation for over 100 years in North Carolina. The best beef I have ever had. Most tender, most flavorful beef. Even the tough cuts like sirloins and the skirt steaks are usually rubber. Straight up butter. The owner is a fabulous guy. He would pull up in his refrigerated truck and bring us pigs, all our cuts. Great company. If you're in North Carolina, look them up. Apple Brandy Farms. Took me years to find a farm that was legit in Asheville, North Carolina. Everybody thinks it's all local and organic.
Did you know that the third highest containing nicotine vegetable on earth is tomatoes? Every red tomato that you've ever eaten has nicotine in it. Did you know that green tomatoes have 10 times the amount of nicotine as red tomatoes? Did you know that bell peppers, cauliflower, celery, zucchini, all nightshade vegetables have tons of nicotine? In fact, that whole group of foods, nightshade vegetables, has the second highest amount of nicotine, only second to tobacco. Wow. Now, this one should shock you. Have you ever eaten a potato chip or mashed potatoes or a baked potato or French fries, Laura Lynn?
Mm-hmm. I have.
Did you know that white potatoes have nicotine in them? And every time you've eaten potatoes, you're sucking down nicotine. Wow. Now, my question for you is why do they continue to make us so scared of nicotine and tobacco if it's in our veggies?
So you're saying I'm addicted to nicotine, not sugar?
If today really is the day that we don't get to talk to our American friends and family on TikTok no more, then I want to make sure that today's post is very, very memorable for all of my American friends and followers. And so I think it'd only be fitting if I carried on the trend with the videos that I've been posting lately. Now, this is Paul McCartney. Who is this
That's
guy?
John Lennon right there, guy.
Can somebody explain to me who this guy is? Does anybody know who this guy is? Because he looks very familiar. Are you ready? And again,
same swag, everything.
And I don't really want to say too much in this post. I'm just going to let your eyes tell you all of the information that you need. Because recently over videos like this, I've been attacked relentlessly by many cognitive dissonant people who do not know how to use critical thought. So instead of using critical thought, they've just attacked me and the information that they've been given instead of looking at it with real eyes. But anyway, I digress. Now, if this TikTok ban really is upheld, and I don't get to see none of you American people no more. But anyway, I digress. Now, if this TikTok ban is actually upheld, and I don't get to speak to none of my American friends or family no more, then I just want to wish you guys the best of luck. And I can't wait to speak to you.
Please give us one last, you flippin' should be. Please, for the people.
See you all on different platforms in the future. Oh, if you're American and you're still not following me yet, you flipping should be. Hashtag mass following. And don't forget to come onto my page and click my notification bell and tap all so you don't miss none of my future uploads.
Newsom just bought a $9.1 million house with a $242,000 salary. How in the world do you qualify for it? Let me break down the numbers of how it would work to purchase that house. On 9.1 million with 25% down, that's $2.25 million as a down payment. With closing costs included, you're looking at about 2.5 mil. The way the monthly payment were to break down on that on a rate of 6.625, you're looking at principal and interest of $43,000, taxes of $9,500, and homeowners insurance of about $2,500. That's giving you a total monthly payment of about $55,000. Now, in order to qualify for that, you need to show a 2-to-1 income. So at a debt ratio of 45%, you're looking at qualifying monthly income of $122,000, 1.5 million in yearly income. I don't know about y'all, but that math ain't mathin'. Comment below how you think he was able to afford this house.
I mean, absolutely right. I saw this as well, that Newsom bought that house, and this isn't even his first purchase at the $1 million levels. The only way I can think of that he actually afforded that house is a much larger down payment. And where he got the money for said down payment, that's anyone's guess.
Here's my favorite time to come to the grocery store. You can basically tell what human beings are eating. Like, here's massive pallets of garbage right here, specifically. And then there's mayonnaise, which is basically garbage, ketchup garbage. This stuff's debatable sometimes. And then you've got a bunch of canned corn and green beans and cans and stuff. But then you come over here and you see that people are eating way too much goddamn ramen. That shit's terrible for your fucking gut. And then let's just keep going. Yeah, have some cornstarch. Why not add that to your meal? Definitely these large bags of sugar. Absolutely, everybody could use all the fucking sugar in the world, apparently, because it's on every goddamn end cap. And then Cheerios. Yeah, spike your fucking blood sugar. That sounds great. Some more garbage right here. Some more garbage. Flavored water. That makes sense, I guess. And then every single end cap has trash on it. That's normal. And then, hey, look. Here's a whole pallet of fucking trash. And it's insane. Oh, look, that side. Trash. Possibly trash. Definitely trash. And, I mean, it's pretty much like drinking and eating that. And you'll never see these because they literally have transportation companies that keep this shit stocked because, you know, fucking if people don't have their soda, they can't develop diabetes. Like, we still live in a society where people look at this like fucking food. And then look,
oh, no nitrates added, you know, we're trying to not fully kill you. Because, like, this shouldn't be a marketing thing. No nitrates added, no artificial flavors or colors, no nothing, just real, total, gelatinous sludge things.
Too lazy to feed yourself? Pay the fucking consequences of eating garbage. You can't spell bread without vegetable oil. Remember, when you're walking down this way, trash to your left, trash to your right, trash
So
to
crazy.
your left, trash to your right. Alcohol. Like, are we serious right here? Grown men drink this shit, and it makes no sense because it destroys your gut. It destroys your testosterone. You literally become the shittiest husband on the planet by drinking fucking alcohol to kill your gut microbiome. Oh, but don't worry, I like to drink wine. Yeah, and nobody follows the research behind how much they're actually supposed to consume. And then, magically behind me, more fucking trash. So the smartest people in the world are the people that have convinced other people to drink this shit to make them dumber. Like, why do you think late at night all the bad decisions happen in the world. Oh, let's mix our inability to produce positive thinking with alcohol because our brain is atrophied through our thoughts in a day, and let's just cloud our fucking judgment even more, kill our gut microbiome, and wake up next week and wonder why the world never changes. So when you hear the phrase, you are what you eat, that shit's dead serious. It says my name on it, I'm a little offended. Not really. Don't forget to turn up the flavor instead of your fucking positive genes, right?
So what you're seeing...
All of my out of America family, how are your stores? I don't even know if you guys got Walmarts out there. How are your stores? Are they like that? Because that's how every grocery store, every Walmart, every place you can get food, every drugstore, that's how it is. Is that how it is where you guys are at? All my UK, you know, some New Zealand, some South Africa. We got a lot of different regions in the CaveFam. Let me know down below, how are your grocery stores? Because that's ours to a T. That's how it is. I can go right now to Walmart and film, and that's exactly how it is.
In this video is a video of government officials in China in the act of cloud seeding, which is when they shoot silver iodide into the atmosphere, into clouds, because what it does is it forms ice crystals, which then melt and turn into rain. So they're doing this because they've been suffering from severe droughts all over China, especially along the Yangtze River, which is one of the biggest rivers that flows through China that's been drying up all over the place, which is going to impact, you know, millions and millions and millions of human beings. So in an effort to combat this massive amount of drought that they've been suffering from for a while, they're trying to seed clouds. Now, cloud seeding has been something that's been in place around the world since like the 1940s, but recently China's got one of the biggest cloud seeding programs on the earth. According to China's State Council, the country is committed to bringing about 5.5 million square kilometers of its land under its weather modification program by 2025. And largely one of the biggest processes that they're going to be doing with that is cloud seeding. Now, cloud seeding is referred to as geoengineering, which is basically just saying like manipulating the earth. And currently there's no conventions or formal agreements that say you can't. So some people think this could be used militarily eventually. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So she finds all kinds of explosives just 24 hours after this warning went out? We'll come right back to this video in 1 second. Is anybody aware that we had 3 different organizations come out today and tell us that we have a massive threat for another New Orleans type attack? Before we go any further, TikTok is speculation based off all the mainstream news outlets. Long story short, in his interview, a bunch of things were brought up. He said that things like in the mirror, it says closer than they appear. That's what the threats that we're facing in this country. He also called them unprecedented, like massive threats to this country. For validation purposes, we also have the Jerusalem Post saying U.S. agencies warn of potential New Orleans type situation. And we've heard this from multiple different people, accredited people. Just the first 2 weeks of January alone.
Talked to her, and what she says she found were pretty clear red flags that needed to be reported to authorities.
I had the master key, and I went in there, and I came across a lot of things, and I was like,
that's the HVAC complaint?
33rd place in the Lake Meadows neighborhood. She says residents get advance notice that they'll be making the rounds and entering their units. When no one answered the door, she says she let herself in.
I came across some C4, some explosives, a rifle, a lot of fake IDs, a lot of fireman stuff, a lot of police force stuff, and it just looked like it was fake, you know?
Those findings are very strange, aren't they? Why do I say that?
Chicago.
I don't know. No idea. No idea. In TikTok, this is just the news. Like I said, you'll need to pay attention.
Hi, everyone.
Now, Trump moved his inauguration indoors, and I was watching, you know, some news outlets, you know, Mr. Don Lemon was saying, oh, he's scared he's not going to be able to fill the seats. A lot of people comparing him to, you know, Obama was out there and negative, whatever. And all these presidents were out there when it was colder than this, like pretty much calling him a chump. Now, I think there's some big threats that they're not telling the people. What do you guys think? What do you think's the reason? Do you think he just wanted to be warm and cozy in there and didn't care about the people like the left-wing media is putting it out to be? Or do you think there's some bigger threat? I mean, we got a clip coming up towards the end of the video of some guy saying, I ain't letting my family go over there because there's something going to happen, pretty much like a congressman. We'll get into that. But I think something deeper was put out into the atmosphere, a warning, and they had to move it indoors.
The show here. As you know, we have been fighting to protect the constitutional right to free speech for the more than 170 million Americans who use our platform every day. On behalf of everyone at TikTok and all our users across the country, I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available in the United States. This is a strong stand for the First Amendment and against arbitrary censorship. As we've said, TikTok is a place where people can create communities, discover new interests, and express themselves, including over 7 million American businesses who earn a living and gain new customers using our platform. To all American users, thank you for making our TikTok community such a rich and vibrant space, for surprising and delighting us every day. Rest assured, we will do everything in our power to ensure our platform thrives as your online home for limitless creativity and discovery.
Call me crazy. Don't unfollow me. Don't unsubscribe. But from seeing the press hearings and him talk, he seems like not a bad guy, not like a Elon type of billionaire that's wearing Baphomet's upside down crosses when he steps out of a car, or saying we're summoning a demon with AI. Like, he doesn't seem like that type of billionaire. That's just my first, seeing him, picking up his vibe and all that. He doesn't give me that he doesn't have our best interests at heart type of, not saying he does, but he doesn't give off. Like Elon Musk, I can see it. That dude's up to something. But this guy seems more, I just want to handle my business and that's it type of billionaire.
This is Representative Michael McCall. And you may not know him, but if you're on this app, you should. Because he wrote...
Because look what these freaking weasels are doing. Look what these guys are doing. These politicians in America, they don't have our best interests at heart. They don't care about our data getting shared. They don't care about that. Look what they're doing.
The bill to ban TikTok. But he's also done some other really interesting shit recently. So here's Mike's recent questionable activity. On March 3rd, he authored the TikTok ban bill. Then on March 22nd, he invested $150,000 in Meta. On the 26th, he invested another $150,000, and on the 28th, he invested another $150,000. So about 3 weeks after writing the TikTok ban bill, this man invested $450,000 in TikTok's competitor. Oh, and then what did he do once he saw his TikTok ban was going to be included with all the Ukraine funding? Well, on April 1st, he invested $350,000 more in Meta, followed by the 5th, where he invested that again. And then about a week later, of course, he voted yes on the bill he wrote. So within the span of 40 days, this dude wrote the TikTok ban bill, proceeded to invest $450,000 in the competitor, and then invested another $700,000, taking his total investment in Meta to $1.15 million. And then he voted yes. Now, obviously, the word most people are using here is suspicious, but the word we should be using is criminal. This man wrote the fucking bill to ban TikTok, proceeded to invest more than $1 million in its competitor, whose stock will skyrocket if TikTok actually gets banned, and then voted on the bill to ban it. Are you paying attention yet?
So a smart meter. Did you know that according to the New York Post, there was over 500 power surges on the grid before the fire started? 317 before the Eaton fire, and 230 before the Hearst fire. And according to Wikipedia, it lists 6 major risks pertaining to the smart meters. Risk number 1, and you guessed it, fire risks. From a result of overheating devices, from poor installation and design flaws. Reason number 2, electromagnetic fields. Smart meters emit low levels of radio frequency radiation, and some people are concerned with potential health issues caused by the smart meters. Risk number 3, cyber security. Smart meters are vulnerable to hacking and cyber attacks, which could disrupt energy supply or expose our data. Number 4, data privacy, because it stores and shares and possibly misuses the data it collects. And with inflation going on, point number 5, accuracy issues. Smart meters may occasionally miscalculate power usage, and some users have reported higher bills after its installation. And the last one, installation risks. Errors like loose connections or failure to assess compatibility, which can lead to overheating or electrical faults. Isn't it crazy that some of the houses that didn't burn down didn't have smart meters?
Wait, and now we find out Joe Rogan is the reason TikTok is getting banned?
I read TikTok's terms of service. Oh my God. I'm going to read you this because this is so crazy.
Is it good or bad?
Bad. It said, we collect certain information about the device you use to access the platform, such as your IP address, device IDs, app and file names and types. We may also associate you with information collected from devices other than those you use to log into the platform. That's why.
Do you think they did that? They created TikTok just on purpose to have all that?
100%.
Oh, but this next guy, check Joe Rogan and shut all of that down.
How long before TikTok's banned?
Let me tell you what's going on with the TikTok. TikTok was eating Silicon Valley's lunch. They were taking all the ad money from Instagram, from Twitter, from Google. I'd say Google and Instagram and Facebook.
The end of the day.
Knocking it out of the fucking park. Look at who is saying, oh, it's China and they're tracking everything. And dude, Facebook tracks you, Google tracks you, everyone fucking tracks you all over the place. But all of a sudden TikTok is a problem. So they decided to lobby politics and come up with this scam.
But Joe Rogan didn't stop there. He had to ruin something else.
Some stuff that I have no affiliation with. NeuroGum is one of them. We always keep NeuroGum in the studio.
Yeah.
We go through 4 or 5 boxes of that stuff.
And NeuroGum really works?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh wow.
It's got theanine in it and caffeine and a couple other things. And what it does is it enhances your memory.
Yeah, now everybody's using it. Gamers, content creators, people who work 9 to 5s. Thanks, Joe Rogan. Now, hold on. The first time you try this, it's going to feel like something unlocks up here, and I can't explain it, but it's a good feeling. That caffeine and L-theanine makes you get from NeuroGum had me super productive. I thought it was something else. Thanks to Joe, you might not be able to get this, but if you want to try your luck, hit that orange shopping cart below and see if you can grab some before it's all gone.
I lost. Always people trying to sell. Ain't no magic gum that's going to make you focus, y'all. Eat clean, get exercise. That's gonna make you focus better than any piece of gum. But anyways, everything you download on your phone, you have to accept the terms of services if you want to use it. You never can hit I decline. It won't let you use the app. And they all ask to, allow Facebook to use your data. They all do. So
it's all faith in this species and in my nation's culture. A long time ago, I got a divorce. And it's never going to work. If you think there's a solution, you're part of the problem. That's what I believe. If there's a bunch of guys hang around together in high school or college, and then one of them gets married, he changes. He's in a group, and the wife will say, well, he's just wonderful with the kids at home, but when he's with those morons at the bar, he's different. Mm-hmm. And the guys will say, hey, he was such a good guy, but when he's with Linda, man, the guy's, just a drag. People change. And then the bigger the group, as the group gets bigger, 6, 8, 12, 15, 100, 15,000, they begin to have hats, armbands, little slogans, lists of people they don't like, and it gets out of hand. So I'm in favor of people one by one, but in large groups, I would like to see them disappear.
Snakes just not.
Would you eat it?
No. I don't like snakes at all. Would you?
Yeah.
You probably had it already.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a secret about Steven Spielberg? He eats babies. Whole babies.
What about bugs? Like, my mom loved bugs.
No.
There's actually nothing I wouldn't eat or wouldn't drink or wouldn't try. If the person okayed it, I would eat a human. If you were at a very fancy restaurant and they were like a tiny piece of human meat.
No. I think the only way
you wouldn't try a tiny bite?
No.
Really?
Absolutely not.
Is that terrible?
I may end up running off with you myself,
That's what Steven says.
It's Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Public place, you did it. Is this the best or the worst? What did you do?
The best.
Okay, the best? Probably the Obama thing.
John! What's the... Oh, God.
does it have to come to a stop?
Yeah, well, sometimes they don't want to, and they're, you know, Gaga, we can't get, you know, the frequency's weird, and, you know, it's sounding a little bit strange, and I'm like, if you don't get this right now, I swear to Lucifer, I swear to Lucifer, I swear to Lucifer.
So now we know that the 3 living ex-presidents will not be attending the inauguration. Here's my question. Why do you think they're not attending? Me personally, I think it's from safety reasons. Why do you think?
Trump will save TikTok, according to his national security advisor, as reports suggest the president-elect is considering issuing an executive order overturning the ban if it is upheld by the Supreme Court. Trump's inauguration is this Monday, one day after TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, must sell or be banned. But Trump has told his over 14 million TikTok followers that he plans to save the app once he takes office. While an executive order could reverse the ban, Trump could also try to stop the Department of Justice from enforcing the ban or repeal the law itself.
I told my team to coordinate closely with the incoming team to make sure we're all speaking
not Trump, incoming team.
Because that's what American president.
A hostage release negotiation, which seems to have succeeded. Did you have any discussions about the ceasefire negotiations with the president-elect Trump this week or last week as the deal was coming to a close?
No.
Have you discussed it with him at all since the election?
No, very, very briefly. When he came in here, I spent 2 hours with him to try to change the nature of the transfer of power so it was done peacefully. And
my family's not coming to the inauguration on January 20 because I don't know what's going to happen. The reason I told him I don't want to come to inauguration is I don't know what's going to happen and I'm going to be in warrior mode. So 20 years in the Navy, my colleague here, 20 years in the Navy. I know I'll be in warrior mode that day, more interested in protecting my family than watching an inauguration. So I said, I can't be a good daddy, husband, and host if I'm in warrior mode.
Day one of trying TikTok alternatives until it gets banned, starting with the #1 most downloaded app in the US right now, Xiaohongshu, aka Red Note. Now, if the government thought TikTok was Chinese, they are in for a shock with this one. Because en masse, Americans are now flocking to an app which, unlike TikTok, is fully owned and operated by China. How's that for petty? But can it be our next home? Let's start with the good, and then we'll move to the bad. It's kind of like a cool mix between Instagram with the Discover page and TikTok with the FYP. It's one of China's most popular social media apps, and because of that, the algorithm is pretty damn good. Most of the videos it gives me are in English from TikTok refugees. Yes, that's what they're calling themselves now. Chinese people on the app have been very welcoming and are even teaching Americans Mandarin. Your profile looks pretty damn cool. It has a shop, the aesthetic is super clean, and it's become more than an app. It's become a rebellion. But now, for the bad. Setting up your profile and using some features can be pretty tricky because a lot of it is still in Mandarin. I mean, Lord knows what terms and conditions I agreed to because I can't read it. Only about half of the comments are in English. And for the people directly moving from TikTok, there's just simply not enough large English-speaking creators on the app yet. So the content doesn't really have that addictive one more video feeling. Overall, the new home probability, 6.5 out of 10, but plus 2 points for the valiant middle finger to the government. However, the search continues. See you tomorrow.
Did you know that the chocolate river in the 1971 film Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was made from 150,000 gallons of water, real chocolate, and cream? Because of the cream, the river eventually began to spoil, and by the end of the filming, it smelled terrible. Michael Bollner, who plays Augustus Gloop in the film, once called it dirty, stinky water.
You're missing it. You're missing the point of this whole thing. Every video I see is either somebody saying goodbye or somebody trying to point the finger at whose fault it is. And everybody's missing the point of this whole thing. We let them isolate us, lock us down in our homes, not let us see the people that we care about. And to make it even worse, they decided who was important enough to leave the house or essential enough, when in the end, statistics showed that none of that was necessary. Then they continued to isolate us and separate us by getting different kind of medicines or if you decided to put something over your face or not. Then for the last 4 years, they've been making you decide which team to be on with this media-fueled circus. They've made front-page news out of every touchy subject that they possibly could. To this day, look at the Little Red Book. They made you so scared of a certain part of the country that since birth in America, they've made us look at them some kind of way. And through that app, I saw with my own eyes just how much of a lie that was. Now here we are, through all of it, through all the bullshit, 170 million Americans are being put into a little group. And they're gonna make you sit down and shut up, whether you like it or not. Unless that small group of 170 million decides to finally fight back. But that would actually take us getting together and putting our differences aside and coming together to reach a certain goal. Now, I know getting along with people you don't like is an uncomfortable thing to do, but sometimes that's a sacrifice you gotta make. Now, you gotta excuse me, I'm taking this long weekend away from my kids and flying down to North Carolina because I heard some people down there need some help. Y'all stay safe.
What do you want people to know about either this program or about just being an incarcerated firefighter in general?
A lot of people may not know about it, but we're putting the work in to not only better ourselves, but better our communities.
Bro, don't pump it up too much. They're not going to give you more. They're not going to give you more money. It's crazy. They get paid $5 a day.
We're out there getting it.
No, I know, but
It's
fire would be so much larger if they weren't out here. They need to get paid an adequate wage, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. I mean, we get paid $5.80 an hour.
You're over here like, oh, it's
no,
great.
not even. We get paid.
I love being in the fire.
Incarcerated people are being asked now to go out and act as firefighters. They lack formal training. Most of them don't have equipment, and most of them have no idea what the hell they're doing. The generosity of the state of California paying $6 an hour to some of them, and then the BOP taking half of that money. This is crazy. It's a crazy thing. The state of California should be ashamed of itself. In 2022, the state of California gave half the firefighting equipment to the Ukraine. What? For what good reason on God's earth? Why are we sending all that money over there? It's the biggest money laundering operation in the history of the world.
Guys, did you read the terms and conditions on RedNote? If you read the terms and conditions on RedNote, you will not be using RedNote. It is some scary stuff. Now, if you look on the app and you go to the terms and conditions, it'll just take you to a page that's all Chinese, but you should be able to click like the 3 dots on there and take it to a web page, and it'll open up in a web page and you should be able to translate the web page. That's what I did. I read through it. I could not believe some of the stuff that was in there. I might make a video just reading out some of the things that they put in there because it is insane and it is some scary stuff. You do not want to join RedNote. If you're going to leave TikTok because it's getting shut down, there are so many other options. So many.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be staying away from the RedNote. Don't worry, y'all. Don't worry. I got some comments. You know, if I involve myself with a RedNote, they are no longer going to be part of the CaveFam. But away from them negative comments, it's hard. Us YouTubers, you know, we see 100 good comments and that one sticks with us. But I appreciate all the love I got from you guys yesterday and, you know, telling me keep going. We love your videos. Make sure you go to Instagram or something. Don't worry, y'all. We don't give up that easy. Take away an app, we don't give up. There's plenty of other 30-second clips out there that we can find and put together. It's just going to take a little bit more work. We're going to have to screen record instead of being able to download the video. It's just going to take a little more work, but that's what it's about, y'all. We adapt and we figure it out. And it looks like the desktop's still working. And I forgot CapCut doesn't work no more. CapCut is where most of us do our editing, make our thumbnails. But luckily for me, I wasn't on CapCut that long. I didn't find that out till later. So I was like, what was I using before? And I was like, oh yeah, that's what I was using. So we got a dope thumbnail for this video. Hope you guys like it. And editing takes a little longer, but man, we got nothing but time over here, y'all. But anyways, the baby, oh man, the baby tomorrow at midnight, we go to the hospital, induce. I'm not a fan of inducing, but that looks like what they're doing now with, you know, pregnant women, inducing labor more. I don't know why, but that's what they're doing. So we're going to start the process at midnight tomorrow. Tuesday, the baby will be here, hopefully overnight, and we'll be coming home in some cold weather, but it's going to be a good day tomorrow, y'all. My family's on their way. They're an hour out. Well, mom and dad, everyone else isn't coming yet. So I hope everyone out there has a good day. We're going to be back with another one tomorrow. A little shorter clips, little shorter. Thursday, I should be back up on my feet and, you know, probably have big old bags under my eyes and tired, but happy nonetheless. I hope everyone out there has a good day. If you made it this far, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back with videos daily, on the daily, y'all. Whether TikTok's here or not, we'll figure it out. This is Segovia, signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Later.